So it can be quite daunting trying to compare properties and understand which would be the best one for you to buy. But as long as you're methodical about it, actually it's quite easier, and the more you do, the easier it becomes. So I've had a look at two new build properties, and this one, these are up in Walthamstow. This is a Barratt home. They give you some really nice, good information. And the first place you start is, what's the price? Particularly with flats, this is useful. So for this one, 439,000 for a one-bed flat. You basically, I'm square foot, so you divide it by the square foot, but if you prefer square meters, then you can divide it by that. So I know that for every foot of this property, it's costing me £816, and that automatically allows me to compare different sized properties to see how it works out financially. I know it's on the 11th floor. That might be something you love or hate. So that's worth bearing in mind. It's got London Help to Buy, and I know it's got a private balcony and particularly storage space and utilities, which is often quite important to people these days. What I've done is compared this to one up the road. This is from Countryside called Feature 17. Now the first thing you'll know is that actually the price of this one is under 400,000. So, but it's exactly the same area. And so from this one, financially, you're getting a better price. Doesn't mean if you really like the Barratt one, you can't go and use this as a negotiation to try and get the price down. But that's the first place to start. Financially, price per square foot or square metre, which is the best place for you. The next thing is layout is hugely important, particularly if you're looking online, but you'll only get a proper feel if you actually go and see the property. Now you'll see with the Feature 17 on the right hand side that some of these areas, the master bedroom for example, is under 10 foot. That tends to, for me, flag that it's quite narrow and you might kind of struggle to fit stuff in. You'll also see with the living dining room area, that is very long and it's quite a short width, although it's 12 foot, which is still good. You compare this to the Barratt one, these rooms are much more square, and you might walk in and you might therefore feel that these are the Barratt one is actually much bigger, and you might find it's easier to put all your furniture in and live in, etc. Going out and looking at those balconies, the balcony does look quite somewhat bigger on the Barratt one, so important to go in, check that, know it up front, and then feel what it's like when you actually get there, because maybe the Feature 17 one actually feels bigger. So really important to kind of compare these, and also the storage, as I mentioned earlier, really important to understand, is the space for everything that you need. Critical leasehold. Costs slightly more on an annual basis to own the one in Barratt, but no ground rent, and it has got a 999-year lease. Now, of course, that's more than you need, and although the Countryside one has in theory only got 250, that's plenty. But there are more and more properties going to be sold with 999-year lease into the future, so you need to take that into consideration. You also need to check what's Barratt including in that service charge, and what is Countryside including in that service charge. Does it, for example, in 10 years time, if the roof is going to need replacing, does it include that works, or is that going to be an add-on? You might find it's an add-on for one, whereas the other one it will be included. So really get to grips with the comparison of that leasehold information. And then it comes down to which you're going to be happiest in, because you've actually got which is a better transport links. So the Black Horse one, for example, you literally fall out of bed in the morning and you're in Black Horse Station. The Feature 17 one is Wood Street Station, and that's more of an overground. Will they take pets? So Barratt East London typically will allow you to take pets. You always need to check, does the Countryside one. So it's all about the living that you want. Is there something on site? So some of them, the new builds, for example, are doing big terrace spaces, so you can have much more outdoor living, and you can have your friends round, and you know, a beautiful day, you can sit out and have a really nice time with your friends. Even though you're in a one-bed flat, you've got access to a fantastic terrace. You might have a co-op downstairs, some other features, or indeed what's in that local area. So really, really important to look at it from a financial perspective, from a space perspective. Check leasehold on the flats, and then it's about where are you going to feel most comfortable living, and then you basically juggle each one of those to decide which is the right property for you.